This is the Carwash on Soccer Laduma Radio. Sizohlangana khona.
Right. Manchester City, Teko Modise.
What's happening with Manchester
UEFA
City?
banned Man City from playing in the Champions League for the next 2 seasons and handing them a €30 million fine. UEFA feels that Man City breached UEFA fair play rules by inflating their sponsorship revenue and furthermore did not cooperate fully with the investigation. This is a massive story to hit the headlines with massive ramifications for its club, its board, its players, and its manager.
Dude.
Right. What the
Right?
Dude.
When this story broke, I thought at first that someone had faked it because it came out late. It was close to the evening. I'm sure late afternoon for England. But what's remarkable about this is we still have Man City in this Champions League season right now.
Correct.
Yeah. So, they haven't done amazing in the Champions League. But what if they win? They can't defend their trophy. And then
Weird.
also now the 5th position in England is a Champions League spot. Is that how it goes?
Manchester United.
Yeah.
Getting in there with the
Leicester
back down.
City.
But
I just want to point something out quick. The 30 million euros is not actually that much, but in the Soccer Laduma, they did a few calculations on what the estimated loss of sponsorship and revenue would be to not be in the Champions League for that long. And that amount comes to 276 million euros, which would be 25% of the club's revenue,
Oh man.
which is a much bigger figure.
Losing a quarter of your guap, man.
But I mean, you would have thought that we've moved on from stuff like this at this level. Do you know what I mean? I think in 2014, they were caught up in a similar scandal and they were fined 80 million euros for something similar. So UEFA's obviously got a lot of beef with Man City.
Yeah.
Hence slapping them with a 2-year ban straight off the bat. And I mean, this is cheating, guys.
Yeah.
This is cheating.
Like inflating figures. The second you get into that territory, it becomes about, because financial fair play, UEFA's trying really hard to get these teams in line because a lot of teams have breached this. Chelsea has, PSG has, Barcelona has.
Juventus did.
Juventus did. They got relegated even. Yeah. And there was rumors that City might get relegated, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you don't know. So the question is, Tex, what happens with Pep?
Dude.
So he's got 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah.
If the ban is still 2 years, I can't see Pep staying. If the ban is 1 year, I can see Pep possibly running its course and then reevaluating. Understand that Pep last won the Champions League in 2011. That means that if he does stick it out for another season, it's going to be 10 years since one of the greatest managers to ever walk this earth has won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And that's not good for his CVA.
It's not good for the CV. If you turn that around though, so you Pep now, you've done all this in your career and you look at what's happened, you think, you Man City, you've tainted now what I've done.
Yeah.
And he's done a great job at Man City, don't get me wrong. Obviously he hasn't won the Champions League, but they've tainted him, even though it's not his fault.
Yeah.
So do you be loyal or do you say, you, I'm out of here. This is ridiculous. Similar to the players, what do you do?
Yeah.
I think Pep will bounce. I think irrespective of what the outcome will be with the UEFA thing, even if they do appeal. Because if you look at it, like now he starts coming out and saying if he doesn't win the Champions League this time around, he's definitely sure that he's going to get fired. So he's actually planting that seed that, guys, if I don't win Champions League here, there's no point for me to stay around.
Right.
So it's just that it's unfortunate now that with the case, of course, it's going to be appealed in whatever the case might be. But also you look at the players that they have, that they sign long-term deals. Like you've got your Raheem Sterling,
De Bruyne Sterling, 26, 27 years old.
Yeah. And they want to win the Champions League. They want to compete against the best.
course.
So now it becomes no longer a Pep thing, also with the players as well. The players will go to the management and be like, guys, we are burned for this for 2 years.
Yeah.
There is no way that we cannot play in this big
And
stage
it's
for 2
interesting
years.
point. Do you think there's something in their contracts for players?
Release clause.
Like a release clause.
Yeah,
but I mean, you would never...
Of course.
You would never think there's a clause of saying, oh, well, if we get extradited from the Champions League. I mean, so I wonder how that's worded.
But I'm sure there is some kind of a clause.
Yeah,
that will
they'll
actually...
have clauses that say if we don't play in Champions League, then we get a release.
Yeah,
So
well, I don't
depends
think it'll
on
be
how
to that extent. It might be if they get relegated,
Yeah,
for example,
definitely.
which could possibly happen, I reckon. But I don't think there'll be a clause saying if you don't play Champions League, you get released, because that's up to the players, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Like,
but the players will actually go to the management and be like, guys.
yeah, exactly. If you're a De Bruyne, if you're Sterling, when you're 25, 26, it's different with Buffon when it happened with Juventus. I think he was 34, 35 already.
Yeah.
And he said, right, I'm going to stick by you guys because I owe you. I've been with you my whole career.
Yeah, that's where loyalty is.
Yeah, that's where the loyalty is. But in this instance, I can't see the agents and the players being loyal to criminality.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what this is.
They can't. But what's interesting as well is look at what Puma is doing. So I nearly said Pogba. Puma. Now they just signed this deal with them that is costing so much money for a 10-year, and then now you caught up in this situation that you might not be in the Champions League for 2 years, and that's where the money is. So now as a sponsor as well.
No, you pull out. Like, I'll tell you why. Because that's exactly how they've got the sponsor. Because they were inflating what the club was actually worth.
Yeah.
So now Puma's come along with whatever it is, billions and billions and hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So it will be very interesting to see, because it doesn't only affect the fact that the teams are playing in Champions League, but there's so many factors that comes with it. Like Simon has said, money side as well. The players probably maybe thinking of leaving the team now. Pep being unstable at his job. The fans as well, maybe thinking that we might be relegated to, imagine Man City being relegated to championship, my friend, when they play long balls.
Bruh.
You imagine your best players, your Myers playing there. I mean, it's amazing. And then you find Hernandez. Who's that guy that plays for Liverpool, the captain?
And Henderson.
Yeah, that thing. So you find Henderson playing in the APL, and all the great stuff. Gundogan playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I think when it comes to that, I think UEFA also need to look at the other way as well. Like, I think the players as well, they're overvalued, if there's such a word. Like, you find your 22-year-old, 21-year-old Mbappe now is 105 million. To sign him. 105, guys. When Ronaldo was 99 million or something like that, he had how many goals? He had a Ballon d'Or. You understand what I'm saying? So I think now we're just going with who has the best hairstyle, who has the most speed, who is more popular, and based on that. And also, he's a top goal scorer. Make no mistake, he's a quality player. He's a top goal scorer, but where? In France, where they're playing
exactly.
with guys that are
just getting out of control.
Yeah, because in France, you're playing against guys that are actually doctors. They're just playing football in their spare time. They come there over the weekend because the league is pub.
Yeah.
So now you saying this guy should win Ballon d'Or when you're playing in a pub league.
Yeah.
You saying this guy's worth 105 million when he's a top goal scorer in a NFD.
Yeah.
So now that's why I'm saying, like, also UEFA needs to look at those type of things. Like, guys, this is you can't overvalue this player. Like, for instance, who's this boy Sancho that's playing in Bundesliga and that's playing? Yeah, he's not even worth that much. He's 22 and probably has like 10, 15 goals.
Yeah.
How do we get to 105, guys?
No,
when one of the greatest players of all time, he was 99 million.
So you're saying not only should we look at overvaluing or inflating club figures, but also
the players as well, because now it's ridiculous. It's getting out of hand.
But you can imagine the Man City players playing in the second division earning £400,000 a week.
Yeah,
because that's in their contract.
Yep,
they have to pay them.
They have to pay them.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous.
Interesting times ahead.
And a question for another day, by the way, is: are the titles that Man City won in that period where they were inflating figures, are they illegitimate now?
Well, sure, that's a good question. But that's why I'm saying
they shouldn't treat like Olympics where you
just revoke.
But that's why I'm saying it goes back to Pep Guardiola, and it's going to taint his image.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But Pep's going to bounce though, because like you're right, Pep's going to bounce because he bounced in teams where there was no reason for him to leave. So now he has a reason to leave. Yeah. He left Bayern with no reason to leave. Okay, he didn't win Champions League. He lost twice in the final, and then he left. He left Messi there with problems, and then he's here. He's facing another problems. So he needs to bounce. I mean, we would love to see Pep Guardiola in the final of the Champions League someday. With you and Klopp, facing each other. Yeah, and probably maybe in a different league.
Yeah,
I agree.
And in Barcelona, we need him still. So
time will tell, Teko Modise.
Yes, sir.
Time will tell. Moving on.
This is the Car Wash on Laduma Radio. This is Ohlangana Corner.